Chinese are spying on our now nearly extinct steel companies, but taking down our information companies, our computer companies that are still vital. Now, also, as we see earlier in the program, as the FBI was using Facebook to spy on people, now they're posing as our saviors. In this article out of CNN, more than 90 people have been nabbed in a global hacker crackdown. And of course, they're talking about something they call creepware. And they have a very visceral little story that they tell here of one particular incident. And it's not to downplay this. This is certainly not anything that's unimportant, and it is something that we should take seriously. But the hypocrisy of the government when it comes out and it showcases this and then ignores everything that they are doing. Never goes against their own agents for doing the same sort of thing. Now, in this particular case, and we have Erin Burnett here, talks to Wolf, who was the reigning Miss Teen USA at the time. She got an ominous email in March 2013. He had used her webcam to take private pictures of her and was blackmailing her that if she didn't send him more pictures, he would make those pictures public. And this is what they had to say.
How did you feel when you first learned that something like this was happening?
I dropped my phone and I was screaming. I was on the phone with my mom and we were both crying. I couldn't explain the emotion that I was going through. It was terrifying, absolutely terrifying.
So as you heard her say, when she realized what was going on, she screamed and dropped the phone and was terrified. When are Americans going to be terrified at the potential for abuse, as we perhaps have already seen, as I mentioned earlier, with the Supreme Court, as William Binney, NSA veteran, whistleblower, has warned us that officials can be blackmailed. They can take down political opponents. And once everybody believes that they can do this, they can make this up about people. We need to be very concerned about this. Well, stay with us after the break. Jakari Jackson has a report, again, on police brutality, this time directed at the casual shooting and killing of dogs. And Dan Bidandi will have a report from Harvard. That satanic mass was canceled, but Satanists still showed up. And you'll be amazed at what they had to say.
I don't know if epidemic is the right word, but there have been many cases of police shooting dogs. I do understand that some dogs are trained to attack strangers, but can't police use pepper spray or some type of other supposedly non-lethal defense? Such as when a Michigan officer shot a 10-month-old puppy in its own fenced-in yard. The officer was responding to a call when he rushed past the "Beware of Dog" sign and killed the allegedly aggressive dog. Earlier this year, an Oklahoma officer killed a dog and laughed about it, reports claim. The dog's owner claims the officer said, quote, "Did you see her collar fly off when I shot her? That was awesome."
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team.
And honestly, there are more examples than we have time to go through, so here's a brief sample.
After the shooting, Paxton recorded a short video on his cell phone. He claims the officer shrugged as if he didn't care.
Police officer just shot my dog.
You catch the officer shrugging his shoulders. We all do certain things when we're dealing with stress.
But do know, the quick-draw McGraw tactics of some of these officers sometimes do backfire.
Scary moments for a Riverside County Sheriff's deputy after he came face-to-face with a pit bull and then accidentally shot himself.
Large pit bull breed dog attacked the deputy. In defense of himself, he fired one round at the dog and inadvertently struck himself in the leg.
And if these are the actions of supposedly well-trained officers, why on earth would we want to give submachine guns to the USDA? You can find more reports on INFOWARS.com.
Oh, so cute, little puppy. A trick. Oh.
That's mean.
But I think something more important than me is going on. It seems like those friendly Christians are not being so friendly, so.
You want to be loud! You want to be loud! On this day of victory, Christian blood will soak these battlefields!
The trumpet of Michael cannot silence the truth. The trumpet of Michael will not silence the truth. The trumpet of Michael can never silence the truth.
have your children. Your children. You go to 9 to 5, you spend no time.
Dan Badandi for the INFOWARS Nightly News. And I'm at Harvard University, where a black satanic mass is supposed to take place later tonight. Protesters have gathered here to demand Harvard not to have the satanic mass. So are you all here protesting?
I'm here to pray today.
The first report was they moved the black mass off a campus, and it was going to go to a restaurant in Central Square, and now we're receiving a report from the New England Cable News that it's been canceled altogether. So we're absolutely delighted. Apparently, protests do have an effect even on Harvard.
Harvard University was actually started as a Bible school, a place to train up people to be radical for Christ.
This is a great abomination before God.
I heard about the satanic ritual about a week ago, and I've been following the events and decided to come down here and pray.
And where are you from?
Hopkinton, Massachusetts.
We're not going to sit down and let people take what is most sacred to us and trample it underfoot as some sort of educational exercise.
It's our job to come out and speak the truth calmly and do something for God when he's being attacked.
It makes me afraid, not for myself personally, but for society, for children, for these poor people that come to these things that are curious, because this stuff's dangerous. This is real. It's dangerous.
I'm here to witness the Black Mass, yes.
Okay, now would you want to take part of it, or are you protesting?
I would have taken part in the Black Mass. Why not? I've taken part in their Mass. Why not the Black Mass?
I think it's a violation of their rights. If they wanted to hold a satanic ritual, again, as I said, as long as it's not hurting anyone, as long as no one's harmed during it, there should be no reason why it needs to be canceled.
I would have never stopped it.
As far as I can tell, there's no good reason to cancel the event. There's no violent crowds out here. Everyone seems to be peacefully minding their own business.
They're doing crack. They're doing all drugs. They're doing all sex. Oh, Jesus was a man. Not a deity. He was a man who figured out the eye. Read your book, because it's all in your book. It's in your book. If thine eye be single, you shall see a straight light.
We're anti-pro-Satan. We are anti-Satan and anti-pro-God. So pro-God.
But still, I just find it kind of funny how the Christians won't allow anyone to have a satanic black mass, but they can have their own mass and no one protests it and it's fine. It's okay. Like they're saying they're right. And the way they think is the only way to think. And if you think on the opposite side in Satanism, you're wrong and stupid.
Well, the reason I'm here is to make sure that the actual message of the so-called adversary, Satan means enemy. I don't know if everyone knows that. But the so-called adversary is not actually what Satan's about. Satan's about love, kindness, acceptance, liberty, truth. Those are just 5 of the bullet points, the 5 points of the pentagram. See.
Lucian Greaves is not even his name. His real name is Doug Mesner. He is a fake to the extreme. Anybody that reads his page knows this. He's admitted he's not a Satanist. He doesn't believe in Satan. He's not spiritual on any level. And yet he claims he's doing positive things for the satanic community.
Now, does it scare you or infuriate you that stuff is now going on in the public?
It actually infuriates me, but it also strengthens my faith and makes me want to become a militant for my church and come out and stand up for the truth and what's good and right.
I think it shocks and disappoints me more than anything else.
The protesters that say otherwise, unfortunately, they're just believing what they're told. I mean, not everyone has a genius IQ like me and Kanye West, so it's really hard for everyone else to figure it out. But I figured it out. I could tell you.
We were physically pushed out of there before we put a hand on anyone.
He didn't touch nobody. These are violent gatherings. We got thrown out of a public space. We were physically shoved, torn, pushed. And we didn't touch anybody. He never did.
I bet y'all wanted a blowjob, didn't you?
So right here at the church behind us, the gentlemen who were leading this event tonight actually came in to the pulpit. I was kind of walking away and headed back to the parking garage. They came into to this church right here, went behind the pulpit, pushed people out from behind the pulpit, and started screaming aggressively, "Hail Satan," etc. Just basically trying to worship Satan in this house of God right here. So I did go in and just kind of told them they needed to leave, and at that point, several gentlemen from the church behind us did escort them out. They did not go willingly. They're actually violent in the process, and they were screaming and trespassing until the police actually came about 5 minutes later, and then they changed their whole story. So that's what happened.
I fear losing Christ more than I do of this in itself, because Christ is greater than this.